Tonight on Connecticut's news station, a once thriving mall is barely surviving this holiday season. We're hearing reaction from residents about the unclear future of the Enfield Mall.
Plus, funding to help hospitals impacted by the rising trend of cyber attacks, how local leaders are responding, and what it means for facilities across the state.
And a community in mourning after a high school football player dies. We'll tell you how he's being remembered tonight.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Mobile Forced. As we enter primetime holiday shopping season, you would think stores would be bustling.
But that is not the case at the Enfield Mall. The parking lots are desolate and the corridors are deserted. So what comes next? Fox 61's Matt Karen looked into the future of the Enfield Mall.
The Enfield Square Mall, once a thriving destination.
A place to come and spend some time.
Now parts of it dangerous. The dilapidated Macy's unsafe for human occupancy.
There's really no reason for businesses to be here anymore.
Holiday season shoppers replaced by Enfield's elderly walkers.
The mall was nice for the elders to come in and get out of the cold and be able to do, their walks and such.
Perhaps the only thing brightening up the dingy decor, the spirits of Santa himself. But even St. Nick couldn't stop a closure. The long-lasting Cinemark Theater will pop its last kernel Thursday.
We come here often, to see the latest movies, and we're really going to miss it.
Enfield town officials told Fox 61 they're likely just days away from a deal to sell the entire prized mall property. There's at least 2 interested buyers, both with a plan to build the mall of the future, a mixed-use complex.
Let's have some low-income housing for all the homeless people in this town, particularly where I live in Thompsonville. Low-income housing or other types of small businesses that can make a living.
But mall shopper Dwayne Thomas of SSU Photo Designs paints an optimistic picture. He told Fox 61 mall vendors will meet with the town manager tomorrow to discuss what they want to see moving forward.
We want this mall to be more of a small business haven, basically, because there's so many corporate businesses outside the mall. This is a great place to have small businesses thrive because it's less money than doing it outside the mall.
The mall has been owned since 2019 by Namdar Realty Group, accused of deferring maintenance.
That was Matt Karen reporting. New tonight, U.S. health officials want more funding to support hospitals impacted by cyber attacks. The Department of Health and Human Services released a new plan today outlining the department's cybersecurity strategy for the healthcare sector, which includes asking Congress for more money.
It's just across the board. They're vulnerable, and unfortunately hackers are taking advantage of that.
The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says cyber incidents in healthcare are on the rise. From 2018 to 2022, large breaches involving ransomware increased 278%.
They're going after organizations that have time-critical functions, and nothing can be more time-critical than patient care.
Experts say cyber incidents affecting hospitals and health systems put patient safety at risk and can lead to extended care disruptions, patient diversions to other facilities, and delayed medical procedures, something the Eastern Connecticut Health Network knows all too well.
There was an impact to our ability to offer our outpatient services.
ECHN had to close its urgent care centers and outpatient labs and cancel elective surgeries after it was hit with a cyber attack in August. Now the Department of Health and Human Services is issuing a new plan to help hospitals prevent these attacks.
To encourage these healthcare providers to shore up their cybersecurity defenses.
The department wants to create voluntary healthcare and public health sector cybersecurity performance goals and enforce these cybersecurity standards, as well as expand the federal government's partnership with the industry. The department needs more funding from Congress to implement this plan, but hasn't specified how much. In a statement, HHS Deputy Secretary Andrea Palm said the department takes these threats very seriously and is taking steps that will ensure our hospitals, patients, and communities impacted by cyber attacks are better prepared and more secure.
And I did reach out to Connecticut Senators Richard Blumenthal and Chris Murphy. In a statement, Senator Blumenthal said these incidents reinforce the dire need to improve the cybersecurity of our country's health systems, adding he will work to ensure this plan is adequately funded and swiftly implemented.
Well, change is coming to the north end of Hartford with the goal of creating more housing and revamping the community. State leaders and advocates highlighted the plans for the new Bristle and Main complex at the former Fuller Brush building on Main Street in Hartford. The building was also formerly a social services building where community members went to collect food stamps. By redeveloping this specific building, city leaders say it writes a new story about the north end community and will transform the neighborhood.
This was a chance here not just to build 160 units of housing, not just to make an investment in a neighborhood that hasn't seen nearly enough investment, but to reclaim a building that for so many people in our community was a symbol of indignity and shame and poverty, and turn it into a place that could represent opportunity in this neighborhood.
The apartment complex will consist of 161 and two-bedroom apartment units that are upscale and modern. This is the first major North End redevelopment project in the last 25 years. Construction is expected to get underway in the near future.
Time now for a check on the weather. Some flakes flying around this morning. I know I saw a few when I left my apartment. Just a few, very small, but they were there.
You know, a lot of people are saying, come on, come on, come on, and a lot of other people saying, not so much,
hold
not
back.
so much. Yeah. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frayne joining us now with a look at the forecast. Right.
Yeah, and the next big storm that we have on the way is going to be rain and wind, and it has nothing to do with the flakes that you saw flying outside today. And it looks like we have one more cold day in store for tomorrow, and then temperatures are already going to rebound Friday, and especially heading into this upcoming weekend. It is 39 degrees right now in the New Haven area, and again, off and on through the course of the day today, we saw flurries and even some snow showers, and you'll still see a few flakes flying through the air across a good chunk of Litchfield County. Also in northeastern Connecticut, it looks across Tolland County like there may be a few snowflakes. It's really tough for some of these flurries to show up on the radar because in some cases the moisture is so low to the ground that it's actually missing the radar beam. The radar is shooting right up and over it. So a couple lingering flurries possible this evening, and then we'll continue to see that activity diminish. Temperatures right now are in the 20s and 30s, but everybody will be in the 20s as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. So it will be a cold start to the day and another cold afternoon with highs in the upper 30s. There could be an isolated flurry tomorrow in western Connecticut, but it wouldn't be as widespread as today. And then we see those numbers rebound Friday and beyond. We'll talk about this weekend warm up and the rain and wind storm that will follow. Your full forecast in just a bit.
Thank you, Rachel. Developing news now out of Las Vegas. A suspect is dead after multiple people were shot on the campus of the University of Nevada. The shooting happened at the university's business school and at a nearby student union. Police saying a number of victims have been taken to the hospital, but their conditions are unclear at this time. Police also say there is no longer a threat on campus. We will bring you more information as soon as we learn it.
Well, Senator Chris Murphy was on the Senate floor today demanding passage of universal background checks, something a recent poll reports more than 90% of Americans support.
I got to tell you, something does seem pretty wrong if democracy can't deliver on a 90% consensus, and not a 90% consensus about whether your road gets paved. A 90% consensus on whether kids live or die.
The Background Check Expansion Act would require background checks for all sales or transfers of firearms. Senator Murphy has introduced the legislation to Congress every year since 2017. The senator also previously backed passage of the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which expanded background checks for buyers under 21.
Waterbury police arrested a man after he hit a police cruiser. Police say Francisco Ogando Mencia hit a cruiser yesterday on Main Street while trying to speed away from a traffic stop. Police say they also found more than 7 grams of crack cocaine and firearm ammunition in his car. Mencia is a convicted felon and is prohibited from possessing any ammunition. He's being held on $150,000 bond.
Southington police are investigating after a person was found dead near a dog park. Police say Alan Legatt was found dead on Mill Street yesterday. The medical examiner's office is now conducting an autopsy. Police do not believe foul play was involved.
And the West Haven community is grieving tonight after learning about the death of a football player. Christopher Fidalgo Pugh died Monday, 5 days before the team plays for a state title. Fox 61's Brooke Griffin spoke with students and staff who knew him.
The students I've spoken with say they're really just in shock after learning that someone so young, right around their own ages, can pass away so early. Now, they tell us that they do want to honor him in some way in the upcoming days. Now, there's no details on that, but they say they do want to plan something. And we don't know the cause of his death at this time. We are still working to find that out. But the West Haven High School principal did officially notify parents of the death via email yesterday. He said in a statement that Fidalgo Pugh was not only an integral part of our school's athletic community, but also a bright and a cherished member of our student body. The loss of such a young life is profoundly felt by us all. The student was a sophomore here at West Haven High School. He also played on the varsity football team as an offensive lineman. Students tell me Fidalgo Pugh was well known, even if you didn't have any classes with him. The team is set to play in the Class LL Championship on Saturday. That's against Staples High School. We're told the teammates will honor him during that game, but we don't know the exact details of that yet. Their opponent, Staples, posted on social media that their hearts go out to those who knew him. Students say the death of a fellow student has been hard for them to accept.
Everybody on the bus was talking about, man, I just woke up this morning and I saw that my best friend died. I'm so sad. I wonder what my mom is thinking. She's gonna be sad. Everybody was just there for him and caring about him.
And school leaders say they have brought in grief counselors to help any of the students and staff through this time. They say that they will be available during school hours for as long as needed. In West Haven, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.